And so at a very young age, Jade's grandfather was dead, and so...
Oh, no.
Seeing... So...
Sorry. Oh, no.
Hey guys, Chrome here, and I'm here in the last, and like the third and final installment in my Homestick series, and I am here with Anne, who is going to be Jade, as you can see.
Hi.
Yeah. So, as I mentioned in the previous video, this way it's going to work is that she's going to do the makeup for the character. I'm going to tell her facts that I've gotten from the internet. All the places I got the facts will be down below. And, yeah. Like, also, spoilers for Homestuck. Only the main comic, not the epilogues or version 2, because they suck. And I don't want to talk about them. But, yeah. You ready?
Yes.
Okay. Jade Harley. Same for the other kids. Started off 13 and then ended up about 21 by the end of the comic. Yeah. Her birthday is December 1st, 95, making her 2 days older than Dave and 3 years older than Rose. I don't know why they were all born around the same time, except for John. John was born on April 13th, 1996.
Why is he so special?
I don't, because
He's got main character syndrome.
well, because the day they started the webcomic was April 14th, and so I think they just gave him that day. Because the comic starts on his birthday. So, yeah.
Well.
Her guardian is her grandfather.
Nice. Hopefully.
And the thing with her is, so she lives on this island. I will get there. She lives on this island only with her grandfather and her dog.
Island time.
And what happened is that at a very young age,
Oh no.
one of the trolls, who doesn't understand how humans work, saw this man, thought he was going to attack Jade, and killed him. And so at a very young age, Jade's grandfather was dead, and so...
Oh no.
Seeing... So...
Sorry. Oh no.
And so... She had seen her... She had seen her grandfather do, like, taxidermy her whole life, and so she stuffed her grandfather and has a statue of him in her living room. And sometimes she yells at it. She is really going through it.
Sis.
I love Jade. She's, like, one of my favorites. She's very fun.
I do be yelling at my taxidermied grandfather.
That is... her patron troll is Carcat Vantis, who is the cancer troll.
Cancer.
Yeah, they have an interesting relationship. I think at one point they had feelings for each other, and then all of a sudden it went away, and it really...
Oh god, I can't remember which one I used.
Wasn't that big of a deal anymore. So yeah, her patron troll is Carcat. Her weapon of choice, her strife specialist, is rifle kind. She uses a gun. She has a big rifle that she uses a lot. And at one point, she acquired the paper kind strife specialist because she was hitting the bad guy with a newspaper, which got her the title paper kind in her strife specialist.
Interesting.
Her god tier is Witch of Space. If you don't know what god tier is, it's basically the highest level you can get in the game they're playing. As for Witch of Space, a witch is confident, enthusiastic, rule-breaking, and they twist the rules to fit their aspect in any way they need to. And then she's a space player, which is about location, beginnings, creativity, and creation, and they can manipulate objects. In Jade's case, she makes planets smaller so she can carry them around.
Oh, okay. That's pretty legit. I like that.
And along with knights, like Dave, space players are also a necessary role to play in the game because they also help to create the world. And they're needed because, yeah, it's a whole thing. Yes. Yep. For her instrument, she plays the guitar and the flute. Actually, I think it's the bass. She plays the bass and the flute.
Oh, woman playing bass, though? That's pretty sexy.
She's very great at it, and I'm very proud of her. She's had so much time in her hands being on an island by herself. So, Jade is special because she has a second guardian, technically, which is Beck, or Beckriel, her dog, who is known as a first guardian because he gets...
Eyeliner? Sorry.
What?
Am I supposed to have eyeliner?
Yes.
Okay.
He's known as the first guardian because he gets his power from the green sun, which is basically what powers a lot of things in the game. And so he gets his power from that, which means he's extremely powerful. And at some point, he goes into the Colonel Sprite. And because of that, because he's a first guardian and he's so powerful, that makes the main villain extremely powerful. Because all of the Colonel Sprite power goes to the main villain. And so that's why he's basically unstoppable and ruined the game for everybody. Dang. But it isn't her fault. And we'll get to that later. So, yeah, she lives in a tower on an island in the middle of the Pacific.
Good for me.
Yeah, because I don't know why exactly. It's all because of her grandfather, and, like, she's not allowed to leave the island. So, like,
Calypso?
Yeah. So, like, Beck was always stopping her from leaving the island. She was never allowed to. She likes gardening, nuclear physics, and dogs.
What a queen. What a difference.
She's great. I love her so much.
Plants and blowing shit up, I guess.
Yeah, she made a robot once.
Nice.
She made a robot because when she would go to sleep, she'd...
Woman in science.
So when she would go to sleep and somebody would, like, message her, her robot would respond for her.
You know what?
It's great. Yeah. So like I mentioned in the Dave video, she dated Dave Sprite, which was the prototype of a dead version of Dave and a crow put together, made into a spirit, and she dated him for a bit.
I don't know what that... Alright.
She dated him for a bit.
A crow?
A crow. The crow that Dave killed was made into a ghost type thing to help Dave go through the game, and then Dave also prototyped a dead version of himself into the crow, making a mixture of Dave and a crow. So he was Dave Sprite, and then she dated him.
Was I more appealed by the crow aspect?
I think it was more the Dave aspect. I think Jade just really liked Dave.
Like, was it like, did he have bird arms? Like, what was
No, he had wings.
Sorry.
He had wings.
Oh, okay.
He had wings. That's it. He had wings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I think he was missing an arm.
Dang.
Yeah. Onto that, she might be a furry. I'm about 99.9% sure she is a furry.
Yikes, Rooney for me.
But as she put it in the comics, she doesn't do fursuits or anything like that. She just thinks animals are cool. That's it. She just thinks animals are really cool.
And I wish to be one, I guess.
Yeah. On that subject, this is very complicated and kind of weird to explain. So.
Oh, good.
What happened is, Beck was prototyped. And then a dead version of Jade was also prototyped, and so you had Jade Sprite, who was a combination of herself and her dog.
Okay.
Yeah. And then when Jade reached God tier, Jade Sprite combined with Jade, and so for the rest of the comic, Jade was kind of part dog.
What?
So
I got to live my fantasy.
Yeah, kind of. In a way.
Live my dog fantasy.
Yeah.
Or furry I don't know. Is she suspicious? I can't say that word specifically. A dog furry?
I don't think she was. I think it was that's just what happened. She liked all animals, but then yeah. She can see the future. So she has this she lives on this special planet that she goes when she sleeps, and in the clouds it tells the future. And so she's the only one that before the game is able to go there. And so she'll say things that predict the future, but nobody else knows about it. And so everybody's like, man, you're kind of weird. But then once the game starts, they realize. But yeah, she can kind of tell the future, and it's kind of funny. She on her fingers she wears colored rubber bands, so she can remind herself about things. A main point was that she had a blue one on, so she'd be reminded of John's birthday, because that was a huge point in the comic. And so yeah, she wears a bunch of rubber bands on her fingers as reminders to do things and dates to remember.
I mean, I know she's straight, but you know that thing where I was everyone that can see the future
yeah.
in media is gay.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who knows? Like I said, I don't know what anyone's sexuality is in Homestuck. It's very up there.
I mean, it sounds like anyone could be anything. So.
Yeah. So she sleeps a lot.
Me
Same.
too. Me too, sis.
Yeah. It's mainly because of Vriska. Because Vriska has mind powers, but the mind powers can only go so far. And so, as for humans, she can only put them to sleep. And so she puts Jade to sleep a lot because that's how she wants her plans to go. And so basically, it's Vriska's fault that everything went wrong in Homestuck. And I will say that.
Dang.
People will get mad, but that's the truth. A lot of things went wrong because of Vriska. So, yeah. Scorpios, am I right?
My sister's a Scorpio.
My sister's also a Scorpio.
Oh my gosh.
She's seen very, like, optimistic and, like, caring, but she can also be impatient and insensitive. Sometimes she doesn't, like, understand, like, how to help people and, like, what to say in certain situations. I think a lot of it is because she grew up on an island only with her grandfather for, like, probably, like, 5 or 6 years of her life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Talk about stunting growth.
And so, kind of like Rose, she also in Grimdark, which is when something happens and then you kind of like lose all your inhibition and stuff like that. Except that when it happened to her, she was still part dog. So instead of calling it Grimdark, they called it Grimbark.
All right.
So yeah, she went.
Cool for me.
So yeah, Grimbark.
I went Grimbark.
And then another fun fact about that
Bark.
is that
Sorry.
and then another fun fact about that is that it's so her god tier outfit is like this like black dress and then black and white tights and like red heels. And so at one point she ends up dying because a lot of people die in Homestuck. She ends up dying by a house falling on her. And then
So,
all you
like,
can
the
see,
witch-
yeah, and all you can see is like her tights and the shoes, and it's funny because she's a witch of space, and so it was really funny. As for the banner, so like I said before, at one point in the game, all the kids have banners and there's quotes on them. Jade's is from Hamlet, which is why I felt it extremely necessary to tell you.
I mean, I love my rat boy,
Yeah.
Hamlet.
So
So,
yeah, that was Jade. How do you feel?
feeling good. I look cute.
Yeah, you
I
do
feel
look
good.
Yeah.
And she sounds interesting.
She's very fun. She's very old place, but like I love her. She's great. She's like one of my favorite characters in Homestuck. I think she's great. I think she also was like one of the worst treated characters. I think just a lot of stuff happened to her over and over again, and it just wasn't that fun for her.
Didn't deserve it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that video. I never asked you, how much did you know about Homestuck? Like,
Absolutely no.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero.
out of everybody, I think in the group, she knows the least.
You talk about it, and I'm like, no clue. But
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
So,
Yeah, that was the video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this series. It was something I wanted to do since I wasn't able to do any other videos on this channel. And yeah, I think we had a fun time, and it was great. So yeah. Okay. So bye. See you guys later. Making a mixture of Dave and a crow. So he was Dave's sprite, and then she dated him.
Was I more appealed by the crow aspect?
I think
or
you're.
the
I
Dave
think it was
aspect?
more the Dave aspect.